Scratch game, Cactus Jump. Alright, let's create a really cool game called Cactus Jump. Help Scratchy avoid the nasty cacti by jumping over them. In this course, you will learn how to create a moving background effect and how to make Scratchy jump. Let's go! Add a backdrop. Start a new project by clicking Create in the top navigation. Next, add a new backdrop by hovering on the backdrop icon and click on Paint. This time, we will be creating our own backdrop. Make sure the Backdrops tab is selected. Then, at the bottom, click on Convert to Bitmap. We're going to use a gradient color this time. Click on the Fill drop-down and select the top to bottom gradient option. Next, click on the left color and set the fill color to Color 68, Saturation 59, Brightness 100. Click on the right color and set the fill color to None by selecting the white box with the red line. Select the Fill Bucket tool and click on the canvas area. The canvas should get filled with a gradient color. Next, we are going to draw the ground. Remove the gradient option by clicking the first square. Set the fill color to Color 38, Saturation 60, Brightness 63. Next, select the Rectangle tool. Drag and paint a rectangle at the bottom of the canvas. And that's it! Our backdrop is done. Scratchy sprite and code. Create two new variables called score and speed using the Make a Variable button from the Orange Variables tab. Make sure to check the score and speed variables. Otherwise, it will not show on the screen. Alright, now let's add the code for the Scratchy sprite. When the green flag is pressed, we do the following. Set the size to 50% to make the cat smaller. Set the cat's position to X -190, Y -70, which is at the bottom left, just above the green rectangle. Then we enter the forever loop. We add a wait block to slow things down a little bit. Then we have an if statement that checks for the Y position of the cat. If the Y position is equal to -70, then change the costume. When Y equals to -70, it means that Scratchy is on the ground. If you remember from the other courses, changing the costume makes it look like the cat is actually walking. We don't want to make Scratchy walk in the air, which is why we have the if statement. Finally, we are also changing score by 1. Next, we have a when space key press block. When you press the space bar, here is what happens. Play a sound. Boing. Set the speed to 15. The speed will control the Y position of the cat. Repeat the following 29 times. Change speed by -1 and then change Y position by the value of speed. By subtracting 1 from 15, 29 times, we increase the Y position and then bring it back down. Before entering the repeat block, Y equals -70. Just a little tip. You may need to change the Y position in the Go to X and Y block to position the cat above the ground based on how big your screen rectangle is. Also, change the Y position in the if block to match it. Cactus sprite and code. Let's create a new sprite by hovering. Don't click over the Choose a Sprite icon and clicking on Paint. This will create a new sprite and the Costumes tab will be selected. Set the fill color to color 28, saturation 60, brightness 77. Select the brush and set the thickness to 30. Draw a cactus. Next, set the fill color to color 28, saturation 60, brightness 100. Select the brush and set the thickness to 10. Draw inside the cactus. Next, click the Code tab. Add these blocks to the code area. Explanation of the code. Let's look at the left side first. When the green flag is pressed, we do the following. Set score to 0. Set the size to 25%. Hide the cactus at first. Then, we enter the forever loop. We wait 1 to 3 seconds before entering the repeat loop. The repeat loop uses the pick random block to choose a number between 1 and 3. This will indicate how many times the loop will run. The repeat loop creates a clone of the cactus and waits 0.05 seconds before repeating itself. The wait is necessary so that the new cactus isn't on top of the previous one, because then you won't be able to see it. Now let's talk about the right side. We have the When I Start as a Clone block. This side of the code will run each time a clone is created. We set the position of the clone cactus to 200 and -90, which is towards the right of the screen. Show the cactus. Enter the repeat until loop. The loop repeats until the cactus is touching the edge. What happens inside the repeat loop? The cactus X position is changed by -5 each time the loop runs, causing the cactus to move to the left. Then, we have the if statement, which checks if the cat has touched the cactus. If the cat touches the cactus, we make a sound, ow, and stop all the scripts. Finally, we have the delete this clone block, which deletes the clone if the cactus reaches the edge without touching the cat. There is a lot going on this sprite. Make sure to understand it well. Cloud, sprite, and code. Create a new sprite by clicking the sprite icon located next to the backdrop icon. This will open a Choose a Sprite window. Click on the cloud. Next, click the Code tab and add these blocks to the code area. Explanation of the code. When the green flag is pressed, we do the following. We have a forever loop, which sets the position of the cloud to 240 and 110, which is towards the top right of the screen. Next, we have the repeat loop, which repeats 480 times and changes the X position by -1 each time. This causes the cloud to move to the left side of the screen. After the repeat loop is done, we go into the next iteration of the forever loop, and the entire process repeats. And that's it! We are done making the game. Start the game and use the spacebar to jump over the cacti. How long will you last?